it is very unpleasant to talk about it for the first several times. I would not lie. I would not say for the first time, no way. Yes, but after that, it is possible to speak about it.
What makes the holiday season challenging for our mental health, even if people do not struggle in real, not in real life, but other times of the year? Hey Vera, it's really nice to have our inaugural conversation with you. Um, our today's topic is why sometimes during holiday season people can feel under the water or sad or low or not being able to plunge and dive into this festive mood. And could you tell us a little bit why it might be happening and what should we do about it? And should we do anything about it at all and go with the sadness or whatever we feel?
Okay. When we have holidays, we have loss of our very close person or somebody or something who was very, very important to us. So we can face memories, especially if it is the first anniversary or the first year when we live through, or even the second, because during the first year we can be in a fog. We do not really realize what is happening, what is going on around. And the second year can be also very difficult because we can face memories. We can think that we had such tradition to spend this time together, or we would go somewhere, or this holiday mood is not appropriate to our inner mood. And it could be also that we can feel very big difference. We can feel loneliness, and it is very important when we live through some difficult situations, some difficult emotions. We are searching for people who would share with us the same state, the same mood, feelings, and when we have holiday mood, we can feel this difference because everyone is happy or trying to be happy or looks happy. But inside, I am broken or I am torn apart and I feel like the feeling of loneliness and that I'm not here. I do not belong because I'm different because what I feel is different from what the rest of the people feel. Yeah, this is the second reason. And the third is that when we are grieving inside, we have a very difficult process, and it is hard to see that outside the world like hasn't changed, almost hasn't changed. Like people live their life or they communicate and it looks like nothing changed. But from the other side, it is very important because if everyone would grieve, they would think that the world has changed like completely. So now all life is about grieving. It is important to have this communication. Sometimes people who are grieving can easier speak with people who do not know about this loss, the situation, right? Rather than to people who know or who knew the person who passed away. This is very difficult because people are trying to speak to us like, okay, how are you? Are you okay? And we are tired of saying that I'm not okay, or maybe I'm okay, but my okay is different from yours. So there could be the memories and loneliness that we can feel. And the third one is that what we can see around is different from what we feel. Of course, it doesn't make me feel happy. Sometimes we even do not realize that it is connected with the loss. Okay.
Exactly. So many people that I talk to about grieving and how they process it, and they are not.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
so many, I want to say of them, but actually it's my story as well. So many of us just put it on the shelf and we do not want to touch it. But this book of grief, it's still there. How does this one work?
I think that the main thing is that we have emotions, even when I understand that everything is okay, but I can feel it. What should we do? I think that we should go with the flow. We should listen to ourselves. So we should maybe ask ourselves, like, okay, so if I'm sad now or if I want to cry, so what is it about? And sometimes, it is possible that I cannot find the answer. I really do not know when we have anniversaries or important dates with the people, with the person who has passed away, right? And I remember that several times I was going somewhere in the train and I really couldn't understand that I went to sleep in the train with, and I was crying. And people were in this compartment, but I couldn't help it. I was just lying and crying all the way, and I was okay, so maybe I'm a bit like, and only several days after I realized that it was a very important date I shared with the person who passed away, and I forgot this date, but my, I don't know, consciousness, my emotional system, it remembers, it reacts. So it works, and we should just let it go. We should let it some space, let it have some space, and find people who would support us, or maybe sometimes do not really ask questions like what is going on. I don't know what is going on. I'm just feeling sad and now I want to cry and so on. I have a joke that sometimes I can find myself lying on the floor hugging my dogs and crying. If you ask me why, do you remember or did you remember something? I said, actually no, I just have this mood, have this feeling, and that is it. It is good to spend some time maybe after that, okay, so what happened, so that we could realize it and understand that how it affects us and so on. But at this particular moment, I would really recommend not to turn on this cognitive system, because we need this cognitive system when we process emotions at the end, so that we could analyze it and make some conclusion or understand it better. But at the very beginning, sometimes we are scared or we feel not really comfortable, and we can start thinking. And I would say, okay, let's think about it later. Now just let it be as it is.
The next one for me is that people say that they would not want to go there. It's too painful. It's much easier for me to get a drink and go out party with my girls or my boys and do not dive into it, do not think about it. How about this? Is that a solution or it's postponing?
Temporary, it can be a solution, and we should rely on our psyche. I mean, that our system knows, it can feel it better what we should really do. I believe that if the person is not ready, even if I offer this person to speak about it, or if I would be open to it, the person would not make this step. It means that there is not enough support or safety, anything. It is very unpleasant to talk about it for the first several times. I would not lie. I would not say for the first time. No way. Yes, but after that, it is possible to speak about it. And by the way, the latest um, observation about this topic says, and I really like it, that our main idea is not to, like we say, live through it or work with it. No, it is about changing this outer relationship to inner relationship, so that I could speak about this person, I could speak about memories, I could speak about myself with this person, like near this person, because when I lose somebody, I lose a piece of my identity, personality, maybe, right? And so that I could live even in memories with this person. So this relationship that I had comes inside into my heart. Of course, it can be sad, but it is not the sadness where I cannot come to it. Yeah.
How? Actually, it's really relatable. I've lost my grandmother around like year and a half ago,
I'm
and
sorry.
all the Christmas things, the Christmas vibe, all this, it comes from her. And yeah, when Christmas comes, like the first one was very weird. I was really sad most of the time, and I couldn't speak about it. Actually, the only way I could, it was during the Christmas on 25th. I just took my phone and ChatGPT. And that was the way I
Mm-hmm.
could start it because I couldn't, I don't know, speak with my family, with my partner, with anyone for some reason. And I started, like, took this step with AI
Mm-hmm.
because it's sort of safe. Well, it's not safe, but it's safer than a human being, at least for me at the time. And it was like this unlocking of my emotion
Yeah.
because I started crying. I haven't before I
Mhm.
talked to
Mhm.
AI, and I started crying, and then I could go to my family and really talk to a human being.
Yeah, very difficult to think about grieving if we deal with some traumatical experience. And we can say that almost every death is some trauma. Like not every time, right? But when it happens, when we didn't expect, or in some not very good way, or something like that, it can have some traumatical uh, effect to us after that. And the problem is that when we deal with grief, like if it is like in a good perspective, I would say, so we want to come to these memories, we want to speak about it, we want to speak about this person all of the time because we have a lot of love. But if we come to this traumatical experience, what our cycle wants to do is make the step back, not to come there. Like we want not to remember about it, right? We want to forget about it. And we try to find some ways, as you mentioned, like alcohol or friends or speaking, not thinking about it. And it is not a bad way because this traumatical thing brings us a lot of pain, and this is the biggest problem there, that we are, like between these two processes. From one side, I want to come there and I want to speak about this person all the time, right? Because this is a part of my heart. And from another side, it is so painful that I do whatever it takes. I do anything not to come there. And this is very, very difficult thing. So the step that you made was really great because you like came there, but in a safe space for you. And I think it was really, really great. And I am really sorry for your loss. Really.
Yeah, actually, I have another question
Yeah.
interconnected with this one, and they like stack up.
Yep.
If you
Mhm.
have a few losses and you're not processing them, what happens then? How can it be harmful for us, or it just
Mhm.
stays like on the background of our mind? How does it work?
Like the first thing that comes up is that I can be more reserved, more closed in building relationships because any way of, can I say it, like closeness, any way of these good relations when I can open, I can be scared of it because I know how it can be like painful or something. So my life can be, a bit like some let's say like that, maybe some rooms of my life can be closed for me, right? So I do not build some deep relations, for example, or I have some ideas which do not help me or something like that. So it can be in different ways. For example, for somebody, some people can make such a conclusion that, okay, so nobody is important, only me. Another person can say, okay, I am not important at all. Like all the people are like the biggest priority or something. And of course, we can lose some joy, we can lose some happiness, some very good things, right? And loneliness, I think, can be also there. So it can affect in different ways. Our inner processes affects our body. So we can have some illnesses, diseases maybe with our body, and behind them there is some reason about emotions. The part of me, some people say the part of me is dead. Some people say the part of me is frozen, but I do not think that it is good to live not feeling full. It would be a bit better to live when you feel most of us, let's say like that. When one loss is somewhere where we put it behind, let's say, and of course when we face another loss, it can be not even something like very important, like a person or something like, yeah, but it comes there, and then any other loss can feel like it is some very big challenge, and I can be so scared to finish something because I don't know how to live through ending of any process. And if I am scared to finish something, you understand it, right? So there can be a teeny tiny opportunity that I will be scared to start something, or I would not. let something happen if when I need to stop some process. For example, I have very bad relations with my partner, so but I'm so scared of living through this ending that I would really do anything to go on with this relationship.
Okay, that's a really good one. Could you also help me understand what makes, in general, what makes the holiday season challenging for our mental health, even if people do not struggle in real, not in real life, but
Mhm,
other
mhm, mhm,
times of the year?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Sometimes we can sit at the end of the year or at some period of time when we sit and okay, how I have changed, what I have lost. And because during the year we make some steps and we do not pay attention. I changed another house or I changed my job or something. And maybe these losses are small, but if I do not pay attention to them for, I don't know, 10 years, for example, of course, then I can think that, hey, 15 years ago, wow, I was 25. How did I feel? Wow! Of course, now I'm a different person, and it doesn't mean that I don't like the way I am today or now. But of course, I have lost so many people, ideas, projects, some things ended in a good way. But I should live through this ending, I should say something didn't happen or something happened. Thank you very much, so that I could implement it in my experience, in my personality or something. But we are not used to it, unfortunately, right now. We do not spend a lot of time to assimilation to this implementing, as I would say, of these bricks of our experience, right? And that is why when we have this natural maybe way when we can do it, of course we can say think like, wow, how many things have changed. And it is not very pleasant sometimes, or we do not realize what is happening, and other people are not speaking about it. And we are like, okay, so it looks like I should be happy now. Okay, but inside I can be sad a bit, for example. And one thing is about something what has ended, but I am sad, for example, that I didn't want to lose it. But another thing, if I lost somebody like 10 years ago, my very close person, for example, my dad. And now, when I have some achievements, I can be sad because I would want to share them with him, right? So it can be sadness not only about memories, but maybe also about the thing that, hey, I want to have my close person so that he or she would be happy with me or something like that. I think that it can also affect. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're getting somewhere very emotional to me. To
Mm.
me, no, it's
I'm
totally
sorry.
fine. So let's move to this one because we are going to put it on social media. So, how do social media and expectations of perfect holidays impact people's emotional well-being during this season? What do you think about it?
Maybe the biggest trouble is that we do not give enough space to be a bit sad or emotional. I think that if we would spend 15 minutes, it is enough really to speak about it, but from the heart, not like, okay, that we must do it. Because I want to say thank you for some people, or I want to recall somebody who was important, as skip this first moment when we um, okay, when we can recall this person, these people, it can bring us the expectation that, okay, I should not be sad at all, and I should be only happy and joyful. So if we connect these two parts, holidays are good. But as we do not have this first part, so the second part, because I feel sad and say that, okay, holiday is not important, or I can be a bit not angry, but irritated or tensed because I do not even understand what I feel or what I really want to talk about.